So how did you even get started in the life insurance business in the first place?
Well, isn't every young boy's dream to grow up and sell insurance? So, yeah, my background is actually pretty unique. My family, we're a bunch of blue collar hillbillies. I guess we didn't have like the business background per se. I grew up doing like commercial logging and construction. Then my mother became disabled. And that happened when I was about 14 years old. Somebody sideswiped her unexpectedly. Bam. She lost the car. She ended up losing her job over it. A divorce came about it with a stepdad. We had to move in the middle of my schooling all the way up to her parents' house at the time. So it was like just this crazy life event that happened all at once. And it always stuck with me like, how could this happen? How could one single car accident completely change not only the financial outcome, but the emotional and family impact of somebody's life? So I always had this calling to do something to help people, to help prevent similar situations. And then it just happened to be while I was in college,
Hmm.
I started asking people, what do you do what do your parents do? Right. The kids I didn't ask because they were doing the same thing I was trying to figure out life. But I'd always ask, like, what do your parents do? Can I meet your parents? And then long story short, I met somebody who had a friend in the financial services industry. And so I actually recruited myself to a multi-level marketing agency and spent about 2.5 years there. That's how I got my feet wet in this business. So that was my very early start into the world of insurance and finance from a completely different background.
Yeah, well, that's interesting because that's the first time I've ever heard that where somebody recruited themselves in. That's the first time
Yeah,
I've heard
yeah.
that, which is pretty cool.
I wasn't even approached. I approached them.
Yeah. So what was that? What was that hunger or that curiosity that you were looking for when you're asking people, "What do your parents do?" Where did that come from, and what were you looking for?
That's a great question. I've always been entrepreneurial. I've always been a terrible employee. Like, okay, you got to take your bathroom break here. And if you want to go on vacation, you got to ask us. I was like, ask you for what? It's my life. So I was never a really good employee. So I had some small like landscaping businesses of my own, just like weed eat, mow for people, and little odds and ends there. But a lot of the ambition came from this inner calling of wanting to do something more. And then after joining that organization and learning like the scope of business and what I could actually accomplish really blew my mind. So seeing the potential that I had at my fingertips while being fueled by the fact that my mother was still disabled and we didn't have much, we lost virtually everything. I was like,
Hmm.
I want to do something to, kick ass in business and be able to help people and then be able to take care of my mom. And that was the very bottom line fuel and ambition I had in the original beginning. It still fuels me today, but now I have 3 kids, I'm married, and all these other stuff going on. So I
Yeah.
have different types of fuel, but that was the initial ambition, is to be like, I'm going to make something different. I'm going to be the one in my family that makes a huge impact. And this is the only avenue I could think of on how to do it. And it happened to be insurance.
Yeah, man. And so it sounds like you early on had the entrepreneurial bug and you were just asking questions, trying to figure out what it is that you're gonna do, but more importantly, asking questions to see who the successful people were and figure out what they were doing, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Because I mean, what did I know? I didn't know anything, right? So I was like, "Hey, you're making more money than me, and you're doing better. So let me ask you for advice." And I've always kept that boyish excitement and this ignorance bliss and wanting to learn more. And even today, I'm in part of I'm in part of multiple coaching programs, and I'm always constantly trying to learn more. And that's really helped my entrepreneurship and also helped me in business. Is not to be shy to ask questions. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
afraid to look stupid because I'm not that
Hmm.
smart to begin with. I'm just really determined. So
Yeah.